competitions.
Were you
I
part of
always
those
want to
that
see.
would write exams and cover their sheet?
No.
Okay.
That was different. But
Okay.
for the competitions, I'm talking about like ASEC. We are going for debates. Having these interesting programs.
Okay.
Anything for me to get out of school,
Yeah.
out of the boarding house.
Yeah,
You see
I
me
get
there.
that.
So I realized it was quite interesting. And on top of it all, once you win, you get a fully funded trip to South Africa. So I was like, oh.
In high
I've
school?
never traveled. Yes,
Wow.
I've never traveled in my life. So, well, let me give this a shot.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Take I'm So podcast, your favorite podcast. Yes, and today we are going to have an interesting conversation because we have a big man here. I'm saying he's a big man because when I see him on social media, he's literally been to all the continents. I don't know, is it true?
No.
But I mean, he's living my dream and he's an inspiration to me, yeah? He's a social entrepreneur and he's the founder and CEO of AkoFresh. Welcome, Matthias, to the Take I'm So podcast.
Yeah, hi, Rabna. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, I couldn't tell everybody who you are. So, tell us, who is Matthias Charles Yabe?
Yeah, so I am a social entrepreneur, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
I am also an innovator
Yeah.
and someone who is passionate about solving problems. I really love to travel.
Yeah.
I'm also a creative person,
Okay.
and I started my journey back in 2018, and till date I've worked with quite a number of organizations, both locally and at the international level. Worked on different projects, joined quite a number of volunteering groups, just to be able to solve some of the problems I've been identifying in my community.
Okay.
And I've also worked on quite a number of projects, as I said, impacting about 7,000 people.
Yes.
On different levels. I've worked
Wow.
on projects in education, agriculture, and I've also contributed to projects in health as well.
How did the journey start? From starting as a student to getting into entrepreneurship and all of that. How did it start?
So the journey started back in high school when I was about exiting.
Yeah.
I came across this opportunity called SAGE,
Yeah.
Student for Advancement of Global Entrepreneurship.
Sorry, just on a lighter note, which high school did you go to?
I was in Otibuatin Senior High.
Okay,
That's
Otibuatin.
Koforidua
Okay.
Senior High School.
Okay.
So when I was about exiting, I came across this program called SAGE. SAGE was meant for high school students to unleash their entrepreneurial abilities by coming up with different solutions to solving problems. So I realized it was something that was quite interesting because I really loved a lot of competitions when I was in high school. Like I was literally doing a lot of competitions.
Were you part
I
of
always
those
want
that
to see.
would write exams and cover their sheet?
No. That was different. But
Okay.
for the competitions, I'm talking about like ASEC. We are going for debates. Having these interesting programs.
Okay.
Anything for me to get out of school,
Yeah.
out of the boarding house.
Yeah,
You see
I
me
get
there.
that.
So I realized it was quite interesting. And on top of it all, once you win, you get a fully funded trip to South Africa. So I was like, oh.
In high school?
I've never traveled. Yes,
Wow.
I've never traveled in my life. So, well, let me give this a shot. Who knows what will happen? So I quickly formed a team. It was quite difficult because we were about writing Awasi. But I was able to get a team. Fast forward, we competed. We didn't win. We placed fifth out of, I think, about 20 high schools. It was quite an experience. So that was like an eye-opener for me because I realized that, okay, I can literally identify problems, come up with solutions, and then pitch it to people to support such initiatives. So that was how it all started for me. And during the closing ceremony of that event in Accra, the founder actually introduced us to Inactus.
Okay.
Saying that, okay,
Inactus.
those of you exiting high school, entering university, you should go look for Inactus. So when I came to KNUST, I heard of Inactus. I saw a flyer that Inactus is recruiting. So it rang a bell. Then I was like, okay, that is what the man was talking about. And I had already been so much excited about the whole SAGE program. And when I heard of Inactus, it was something that could definitely help me advance whatever I started in high school.
Yeah.
So I joined Inactus. I was like a very active member. And it was through Inactus I went on a volunteer trip in 2018. And that was how it all started. We went to Akumadan community.
Okay.
Akumadan is one of Ghana's major tomato farming communities. And most of the farmers have been losing a lot of crops. So when we went to that community in 2018, I met a 56-year-old woman.
Yeah.
So she was taking myself and some of my colleagues around her farm, and you can literally see that the crops were being left on the farms to rot. It was very devastating.
Yeah.
And we asked her, so why did she leave her crops to rot? And she was like, the buyers couldn't come on time. So it was really, really bad. And that was how it started for me, to become a food systems hero, looking for solutions that can help the farmers mitigate post-harvest losses, because it's not just something in that community, but it cuts across farming communities in Africa.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised to know that just in sub-Saharan Africa, farmers are losing 40% of all their crops before getting to consumers.
Then they lose all that.
Yeah.
That's sad. So, but I know you read com design when you were in KNUST.
Yeah.
I mean, the best university in the world.
Of course.
Exactly. It's not debatable. So how did you get into agriculture? Com design, agriculture, they are two separate.
Yes. So, I know, I mean, I get this question on every platform, almost every platform.
Yes.
But what I can say is that I really had a passion to solve problems. So I didn't really let my educational background be a barrier. And in the sense that once you are very passionate about something, you should be able to drive. You should be able to use that passion and drive to be able to achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. In as much as I read com design played a critical role in what I even do now, because when you talk of agriculture and the solution we are trying to introduce to help smallholder farmers, there's something we call product design.
Yeah.
And in product design, you definitely apply some of the communication design skills in there, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
And because of my background, I'm able to critique that, work with engineers, come up with 3D concepts and all that to see how the technology we are trying to introduce will look like, and even present it to the farmers as prototypes before it's being implemented on ground. So it wasn't really directly related. I know it's contrasting, but of course, I was able to leverage partnerships, collaboration, and my passion to be able to do what I'm doing now.
That's impressive. So when you consider that idea, how did you get people to believe in that, to work with you? Because I'm sure you started with some people when you started the journey. How did you get people along to start the journey with you?
So it was very difficult first off, because it's like you are coming from a whole different background, and you are trying to go convince someone that agriculture, you want to develop like an innovation to help farmers preserve their crops and whatsoever.
I get.
So it was very difficult for me at the start, because usually when you are pitching to investors or people to invest in your idea, they also look at your background. So I was a bit worried from the onset, but what I did was that I leveraged collaboration. Collaboration is very important, and partnership. So I didn't work alone. I didn't go out there pitching my idea alone. I created a team. So back in second year, when I was about entering third year, I joined a program called Fishbowl Challenge.
Okay.
So that Fishbowl Challenge was a global competition for university students to collaborate with other students from different continents. So you are supposed to form teams with at least 2 students from different countries. They are not supposed to be from your country. You can either get one person from your country and then the other should be from a different country. So I did that, and that was how I got my team. The team I started AkoFresh with. So I pitched the idea to them. Then I said, okay, well, this is what I had identified. I'm very passionate about this issue, and I believe we can be the problem solvers for this particular issue in Ghana and probably beyond. So I created the team. We had different skills, different expertise. So that really helped us and at least it was able to complement some of the skills I didn't have,
Yes,
like
yes.
crop science, engineering, and all that. Help giving us that kind of strong background to be able to develop a solution.
Okay.
So that was what I was able to do. So creating that kind of partnership and collaboration with other people to support the idea was something that was very helpful at the very beginning. And that was what unlocked our first funding. So we competed, we went through a 6-month training and incubation program, and globally we emerged the grand prize winner.
Wow.
And secured $25,000
Whoa.
as a third year. So I remember my course-mates were sharing when they saw the flyer, they were converting 25,000 into cedis, and they thought I was rich. But even as at the time, I don't think I had even paid all my fees.
Yeah.
But it was really exciting. I had the chance to meet the vice chancellor, and I met quite a number of university officials who also helped one way or the other, providing me with the resources to launch the products. Because now we've gotten the funding, how do we then use the funding to create the products to help the farmers? And what is a product? So when I had identified the problem of post-harvest losses in the community, we wanted to develop a solution to help curb the issue of food loss and waste, which is very prevalent. So we developed a solar-powered cold storage preservation technology, which is supposed to help farmers extend shelf life of crops from 5 to 21 days. So that is the innovation we developed. It runs 100% off-grid, which means it doesn't use any form of, it doesn't use the electricity power. Exactly, the conventional electricity, the doom saw on and off. Just imagine storing crops in there at night and then the power goes off. It's going to affect the crops.
Exactly.
But we are leveraging 100% solar to store crops for smallholder farmers. So we store these crops under environmentally controlled temperatures. We don't use any form of preservatives or additives, just storing them in there to extend the shelf life.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced when you were starting this whole thing? Because I'm asking this question because we have some people or some young entrepreneurs who are starting their business and they are facing challenges and they want to give up because they are facing all those challenges. So I want you to share with them some of the challenges you've been through and how you were able to come out of those challenges.
Yeah, so I can talk of people believing in the idea.
Yes.
Because usually when you present your idea to people, it becomes difficult for them to believe in it. And secondly, we being young people, pitching your ideas or your idea to the older people makes it look as if you are inexperienced. So they see young people as not experienced. So it becomes difficult for them to say that, okay, well, I want to give you funding or I want to push you to do this.
That's true.
On your own. You know, so that has been a challenge for young people around the world, not just here in Ghana, but it cuts across. So that has been another challenge I faced. And how was I able to overcome that? So usually before I go pitch to people or pitch to the elderly, I try and send results because at least people want to see what have you done.
Yeah.
So we go there with numbers. We've spoken to about say 500 farmers, 300 farmers. This is what they are saying. We go with 3D concepts of the solution. This is how the solution will look like. This is how it's going to benefit people. You don't just go there saying that, okay, I want to design this. I want to design that. But you go there empty-handed without any results. They will still feel you are inexperienced. You've done nothing. You know, so that was how I was able to overcome. And another challenge has to do with funding. So getting funding, I know I mentioned 25,000. Honestly, we're all happy, but the 25,000 wasn't even enough. And I remember we got stuck after we shipped all the equipment because we need to import certain equipment into the country. And the money wasn't enough. And it was during COVID, the time we were trying to recover from the COVID crisis. Shipping fees were hiked up. We spent about $5,000 just on shipping fees without even duties and all that. So we spent a lot of that money on the unit. So now getting access to additional funding to even scale became another issue. You know, so funding has been another issue. And I know most people have access, most people are having that issue with funding.
Yes.
But what we are doing at AkoFresh is still trying to create partnerships, collaborations with intergovernmental agencies and private sector to help us scale.
Okay. So you said that when you were in, is it high school, you went for a competition and you were fifth. You didn't win.
Yeah.
You were fifth, but you still moved on.
Yes.
We have people that when they set out to do something, or they want to start
Yeah.
start their own company or be a CEO,
Right.
they face one challenge, they don't win, or they
Right.
go for a competition, they don't win, and that is it.
Yeah.
They just draw back. So how can people deal with failure, or when you fail as a young entrepreneur, how can you get back on your feet and move on? You can use your experience as well.
Yeah. Personally, I feel failure is always a learning experience. Yeah, it shouldn't be failure shouldn't be an opportunity for you to stop, because if you don't fail, it means you've not even tried anything, and you trying like many times gives you enough experience. Because when I went to pitch in high school, I had never like pitched on a big stage before, pitching to like a set of jury and all that. But as at the time, I think I was shivering. I even saw the video. I saw the pitch deck we designed.
Yeah.
It was nothing like, it was a joke.
Yeah.
You know, so when I go back and look at that now, I feel, oh, wow. This is what I did back then. You know, it didn't really make sense. So as young people, we should know that anytime we try and fail, it is an opportunity for us to do better. It's a learning experience. And back in 2020, myself and our Inactus team, we did a competition. During that competition was like a big learning experience for many of us, because anytime each team pitch, you get access to receive feedback from your peers, from the jury, and from the program team.
Yeah.
So we realized that, okay, we were even learning from some of the feedback that was given to the other competitors. Although we didn't win, but it was still ways for us to improve. And that is what we should learn as young people. So anytime you go pitch for the first time, second time, third time, and you do not win, you should really take that as a learning experience. You should go back for feedback. And once you implement these feedbacks, it should be able to help you scale up.
Okay.
So you shouldn't give up.
All right. So how far is AkoFresh in terms of what you have gained when you started, and how you've come now, the recognitions you've gained, the awards you've gained, and all of that? How far is AkoFresh?
Yeah, so I mean, beyond the awards, we are just trying to make an impact.
Yeah.
So far, we launched our first product in 2021, towards the end, I think around November. And I'll say to date, we've been able to impact over 3,000 smallholder farmers through our farmer training and our storage services. So with our farmer training, what we do is we empower smallholder farmers with digital skills and tools. We also provide them with access to knowledge on postharvest management, climate smart agriculture as well. Just to give them enough knowledge to thrive as farmers. And through this, we've had quite a number of international organizations we've collaborated with. We are collaborating with the Kofi Annan Foundation from Switzerland to help smallholder farmers receive access to capacity building through a digital offline tool we just developed. And we've also collaborated with the International Trade Center last year to train around 200 farmers in Begro on digital skills and tools. And that is how far we've come in terms of the impact. And we are trying our best, trying to unlock other opportunities. This year, we've also recently gotten some exciting partnerships.
Okay.
Yeah, we are still trying to sign the agreement.
It means more money is coming.
Maybe. I can't talk about it fully, but
yeah,
we are scaling beyond our initial pilot community. And we should even be in another country on the continent, hopefully in the next 2 years, through the recent partnership we just secured.
That's so impressive.
And with the awards, quite a lot, really a good indication that the work we are doing is quite critical.
Tell us some of the awards you've won.
Yeah, usually I try to avoid it, but...
Oh, you should.
Yeah, so I remember when we started off, nearly, I think, in November 2021, we got recognized by the World Economic Forum. We got into their top innovator engagement program. As one of the winners of the youth Generation Restoration Youth Challenge. Supporting young people developing green solutions that are addressing some of the environmental issues. So we got recognition from them. And I was happy. Vice Chancellor recognized us during the congregation. And beyond that, we also got an award from the Global Solutions Initiative in Berlin. And we were the inaugural winner of the Young Global Changers Ray Kaplan Award. And we went ahead to win the Prototypes for Humanities Award in
Wow.
Dubai. And
Okay.
it was really huge because we got the award from Her Royal Highness, the Crown Princess of Dubai. So it was
Okay.
quite interesting. We've won other awards as well. The list goes on and on.
I want to be
But
like
we
you.
are I mean, it keeps us really inspired.
Yeah.
Because the journey is very difficult. Usually people see just the recognition, and probably myself or any of my team members pitching on a big stage in an European country or in America, and they feel, okay, well, you guys are on top, but it's quite difficult because
But you're actually on
we
top.
receive a lot. We receive a lot of rejections, a lot of them, and if we wanted to give up, we would have given up like really long time ago. But for us, we really believe in the idea we are pushing. We believe in the organizations that have given us the recognition, and we really do not want to disappoint people who have invested money in us.
Exactly.
So we are still resilient. We keep going, and we believe we can make a bigger impact.
That's wonderful. So if someone wants to be a young innovator, someone wants to be like you, a social entrepreneur, what are you going to tell the person? You can look into your camera and talk to the person right now.
Yeah, so to you who wants to be a social entrepreneur or an innovator, first off, you should believe in yourself. You should believe in your idea, because if you don't really seem so confident about what you want to do, no one will believe in you. Most of the times people go out there pitching. It's not as if they really like what they do. Some of them don't really like it, but they are so passionate, they are so confident about it, and they end up getting the prize. There are people who also really want to do it. They have the drive, but they are not so confident, and they end up not getting anything. So you really need to be so confident about your idea, believe in what you do, and start little. Don't wait to get like the huge investment you are looking for before you make that step. You can start by talking to the people you want to help. You can start by gathering feedback, gathering data. You can even draw a business plan. These are critical things we forget to do. And we always say, oh, I don't have money. So with the little resources, start with it, and then believe in collaboration, partnerships. Don't say someone will steal your idea, so you're going to work alone. There's no way you're going to win by going alone. You definitely need to get access to support. And then take feedback. Don't think what you know is the best. Anytime you pitch, receive feedback. And I believe that with these few key stuff, you should be able to thrive.
You should be able to thrive. So if we want to reach out to you, if we want to be coached for a pitch or something, how can we reach out to you?
So I have a website.
Okay.
www.mathiasyabe.com. You can send an inquiry through my website.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram, Matthias_c.y, and I'm on LinkedIn, Mathias Charles Yabe.
Okay.
And on X as well, Mathias Charles. So you can reach out to me, and you can also follow our work, www.akofresh.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just on the lighter note, I really want to know, how many continents have you been so far?
Oh, I've done just 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done just 4, and I think maybe about 14 or 15 countries. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not much.
Next time when you're going
I have
to take
friends who
me,
have done
please take
50s.
me. Okay, thank you so much for coming, Matthias. We are so grateful.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. So I'm sure you have enjoyed our conversation. I'm sure you've learned a lot, because there've been a lot of nuggets of wisdom. If you want to be a young innovator, if you want to be an entrepreneur, start small. Start with what you have, and you are definitely going to get there. Thank you so much for listening to us and for tuning in. You can follow us on all social media platforms, on Twitter, now X, on Instagram, and on TikTok at takeamso_pod. And you can get our podcast on all podcast platforms. Thank you so much for sticking and say we love you. Bye.
Bye.